Now, recently I made a mid engine Lego track car. It was amazing. I worked hard in this engineering masterpiece. It had all-wheel drive system with center lock differential, safety roll cage, 2-speed manual transmission, huge wing, scissor doors, and it was quite huge. But it was not playable as the car was too heavy for even dual normal independent suspension arms. So it scratched its side fenders, especially at the back. So moral of the story is don't work hard. I'm just joking because it was worth building. Anyway, the topic which I'm going to talk about today is downforce. In this video, you will know what downforce is, why is it important, and how to make downforce. So if you have seen real race cars, you have seen their insanely aero parts added to its street legal supercar to produce downforce. Now downforce is the air rushing above the car at high speeds which push the car down at higher speeds. Yes, just like the opposite of planes going airborne. And so downforce creates drag at high speeds. So other things that does not support downforce is removed so that the drag would be limited in race cars. By the way, if you have made it this far, consider subscribing. Now, the science behind it is that while your car is moving at a high speed, it creates high pressure zone in the front and low pressure zone at the back, which tends the back tire to spin out. And that can cause accidents, and this is where downforce is required. It is important to make that low pressure zone to high pressure zone so that it can grip the backside of the car. It is especially important in race cars because it pushes the car down at high speeds and helps the race cars grip and corner well at sharp turns. And also there is a thing called as lift which can make cars to fly around or skid at higher speeds. It happens due to high pressure zone underneath the car. So again, downforce is a must. Now I have said what are the problems and the solution is downforce. And if you want to know how to apply these solutions, well, there are some components which will help a car to produce downforce. First, rear wing and spoilers. Rear wings are usually used in race cars and few street legal cars like Dodge Viper SRT ACR. Its appearance is normally huge and it produces a lot of downforce at high speeds. And it does not follow the lines or curves of the car. It produces high pressure zone at the back of the car which solves the problem of low pressure zone at the back. And spoilers kind of does the same job, but instead of creating a lot of downforce, it keeps the rear of the car planted and makes it stable at high speeds. And that is why they are usually small in size and follows the line of the car. Second, front canards. They are also common in race cars and are applied in few street legal cars as an aftermarket part. Now when the wing helps the back of the car planted, which can create another problem of understeer if the rear tires got a lot of grip. So the front canards act like a very small wing at the front instead of the literal wing at the front of the car. And I'm just saying this because there were cars that literally had wings at the front of the car. Now the basic last thing to produce downforce is at the underneath of the car, and that is where the front and rear splitters comes in. Like I said, the car needs low pressure zone underneath the car so it can suck to the ground so it does not go airborne. So the front and rear splitter does exactly that, to vacuum seal the car, and the side of the car is applied by side skirts so it does not disrupt the air underneath the car by side high pressure zones. And this is what you need to know about downforce. And personally, these aero kits in race cars look sick, not the rice ones, please. Anyway, this is it for this one, and if you like cars or fitness, consider subscribing. And if you want to know how force induction work, check out this video. And if you like something about fitness or calisthenics, check out this one. Anyway, bye. This Lego car is bigger than my foot.